What's up, guys? We're back again. Timeless Podcast. Me, myself, Denny, got Nair, Meldon Masami. Today, our guest is Nis. He's our first guest that's actually in the music industry. Producer. He is here. He is from here, Bowling Green, Kentucky. Let him introduce himself.
Yeah, name is Ness. Born and raised, Bowling Green, Kentucky. 31 years here. Maybe looking to move sometime soon.
You looking to move out of LA or?
No way. You see them taxes out there?
Yeah. Where you planning on moving?
Nothing to play with. Oh, man.
Not to help out the music, or?
Yeah, I'm thinking probably somewhere in Tennessee area. You know, it's a lot to do there musically. So
big music city.
Yeah,
Atlanta's a good one too.
Atlanta's a good one too, man. Atlanta's a good one too. Really good.
Nothing too far.
Speaking of music, how did you get into music and producing?
Man, it started really at a young age. Honestly, I can't remember exactly what age I was. I don't know, maybe 13, 12 or something around there. I think I got, I don't know if it was for Christmas or if it was just a birthday gift. Yeah. My mom, she had bought me this PlayStation game called MTV Music Deluxe Maker. Yeah, I think that's what it was. Generator, MTV Generator. Yeah, MTV Generator. And man, I used to just be on that every day after school, just making beats. Like I would just remake old Timbaland beats. Yeah. Just anything I could think of. I remixed the Super Mario beat. Yeah, I did a lot of stuff on it, man. So yeah, that's really where as far as the producing side, where that part came from. And then just as far as music, that just came from being in a musically inclined family. Sure. On both sides. You know what I mean? My mom, she played piano, and my dad and all his siblings, they all played instruments and sing. So yeah, I mean, just being behind that and seeing all that at a young age, it was just something that stuck with me.
When you were that age, did you think about like having a career in that? Like, yeah, or you just kind of went with it? No, I mean, even at that young age, bro, like it was something that stuck in me. It's like I always knew music was something I wanted to do. There were sports, but I really wasn't into sports like I was music, and I think that's what my mom could see at that young age. And it's very important for parents to pay attention, when they have a kid. If they see something early on in age that the kid is, really just, inclined to really just, focused on, their parents should, kind of like,
help pursue it.
Exactly, help pursue it, man, because that you never know what that, what that can happen. Yeah, what can happen from that. Yeah. So
how old were you when you got like your first actual gear? Not just video games. I mean, my
first gear was my mom. She used to have the daycare on Sugar Maple Square, yeah. And I had begged her pretty much, like, hey, can I buy this beat machine? It was a Korg EM1 music production station. It's a little bitty black box that had like 8 keys. Yeah, like it had like 8 keys on it, and then like 2 drum programs you can that you can put in there. Yeah. And she was like, hey, you can get it, but you're going to have to work for it, So I was like, all right. So I worked at the daycare for like 3 or 4 months. Yeah. And, she bought it for me. I was, maybe 14, 15 at that time. Yeah. Did you have any people that you that kind of mentored you or helped you during here in Bowling Green? Because not a lot of people made it out of Bowling Green, you know what I mean? Yeah. Or were you kind of solo, just learned it on your own in your own bedroom? It was really solo. As far as, just on that aspect of it. There's a few people around town. Like there's a cat named Jay. He used to mess with a Street Made, and they did a lot of stuff. I used to look up to him some, and then as far as anybody else around town, it was really about him. I would say it's him. And then after that, growing a little more into music, and then, venturing off and going, to Louisville a little bit here and there, I met my boy John Woo. And from there, me and him just kicked it off, and that was really kind of like the person who really shaped, as far as just the hunger in me, and what's the word I'm looking for? Basically, just helped me continue doing what I'm doing. Yeah. How'd you develop this relationship with him? With John Woo? Yeah. Was it any social media? Or? No, it was crazy. They had it was like a beat competition thing they had. Well, it really wasn't a beat competition. It was sort of like a what do you call it? like a beat submit type of thing where they had Yo Gotti coming to Louisville, and you could put like 3 beats or something on a CD, and you just had to be there and sign up, and they were gonna actually give Yo Gotti a beat, or your CD with beats on it. So I drive up from Bowling Green, I had my little beats on the CD, wrote my name on it with a Sharpie marker, put my number on it. Wasn't nothing professional about it, honestly, because I was maybe 16 at the time. And here comes John Woo walking in the building. And it's like, we were like, I don't know, it was kind of like, I don't know, but it was like, not a meeting type setting, but it was like a convention type of thing where, it was a lot of people there, it was a lot of producers. And here comes John Woo walking in, man, and he got a mink coat on. he had a vinyl record. I was like, man, there's no way this dude put his beats on a vinyl record. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then from there, I just, went and hollered at him, and it's been big brother, little brother since then.
At that time, what were you doing? Like, were you just full time doing the beats, or were you kind of working somewhere else and kind of just squeezing it in?
No, man. At that time, I was still in high school, so it was cranking out beats in the basement at home, and that's pretty much it, man. As soon as I got out of school, I was making music. Either I was at home making music or I was at the studio making music, man. So it was just a grind from
That's crazy.
From then, yeah.
So you like people from BG? Assume that's where you started. Kind of people like who'd you have?
We had a label here. It was Dice Down Entertainment, and it was man, that whole camp. I mean, we had maybe 13, 14 people on the roster. From groups to rappers to singers. So that was really my introduction to like just being diverse and not just catering to one sound. Just as far as like, having to do rap, having to do R&B, having to do something. And then on top of that, we were all from different parts of the world. There was people from New York, people from down south, the West Coast. So I had to like, come up with things that catered to everyone's specific style that they wanted to do, because obviously everyone is not going to do the same thing, same type of sound. So yeah.
Growing up, like listening to music and stuff, do you feel like you listen to it differently than most people would? Kind of everyone listens for the lyrics or whatever, but you kind of like pay more attention to the beat, kind of what's going on in the background, stuff like that.
That's crazy, man, because I don't know if you guys remember when Nelly came out with I think it was Country Grammar.
Yeah.
And that CD was the CD. That CD was like one of the first CDs I bought. Well, actually, my mom bought. Yeah. I don't even remember how old I was when that came out, but she was like, "Why do you want this CD so bad? Why do you want it? Like, do you hear the words that's on here?" And I remember telling her like, "No, I'm listening to the music. I'm not even listening to the words." And that's pretty much where it was at. I've always just been so inclined to just the music part of it, other than than the lyrics. It's always been something that's been a driving force for me.
Yeah. Do you have like a certain preference, I guess, what kind of beats you like to make, or you kind of just down with whatever?
Man, I'm down for whatever. I'm even trying to break in the country sometime, like in the near future. Maybe this year or next year.
How do you wrap your mind around like different genres? Because I know like if I do something, like let's say with video editing or something, like I kind of have my own style and I kind of just keep on. But being a producer, you gotta listen to this tone, and then you gotta slow it down. You gotta, you know what I mean?
It's a lot. You don't want to get stuck in a box, and just being able to, or not being able to, but just people knowing that you just have one particular sound, because that means that you're only going to have one type of customer, and that can kind of slow up your revenue. So for me, just like I was saying, just early on, we had the entertainment label, where it was just people from all different walks of the life, or not life, but of the world, just from different places, and just being able to cater to those sounds, and not only as far as when I grew up as well too. It wasn't just one type of music I was listening to. I was listening to everything, any and everything, man.
What was the first real experience you had, like, where you realized, like, the next step? Because you listen to all these, like, big names, you know what I mean? What was the first person you kind of interacted with or produced for that kind of made you think, like, damn, I'm really close to making it fully?
Like, just, as far as growing from the beginning?
Like you know how you can produce for, like, local rappers or whatever?
Or not, like, they haven't made it yet, but, like, they're as close to.
Oh man, as far as I think the first person who really like made me feel like that I got it. You know what I mean? Will probably be my brother, Fed Up. Man, he's like at 16 years old. He didn't have to. You know what I mean? Try to reach back for me and be like, hey man, I want you to come to the studio and work with us. We heard some of the beats you had on the CD and we loved it. Like, I want you to come over and work with us, man. He could have easily went to someone else, around the city or even out of town, and reach out to them. But he's an older cat, and here I am, a young kid, 16 years old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, he really took a gamble, or really, he just believed in me from the beginning, before anything. When I had the little beat machine.
Yeah. Do you still have that beat machine, or?
I don't. I wish I still had it. I sold it. I think I was probably hurt for some cash. And I was like, man, you know what? Let me just sell it. I got enough beats on CD I can sell, and trying to come up with some more money.
Yeah. Growing up in those young ages, how many beats do you think you would make in a day or in a week?
Man, it depends. I would probably make, 7 to 10 beats a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably 7 to 10 beats a day. My boy John Woo, he can tell you right now, he would call me sometimes and he'd be like, hey man, we're going in the studio. I have this new artist that, that's looking for some beats. And I'm like, all right, cool. Give me to the end of the week. And at the end of the week, I'll send him 30 beats. Saturday, he'll call me. Hey bro, we're going in the studio. We got another artist we're about to work with. I'm like, all right, cool. The next week I'll send him another 30 or 40 beats. So, just the consistency. Just kept going.
Did you get introduced to any bigger names through this John Woo guy? He seems like, he's kind of big dude in Louisville.
Yeah, there was a few people. There was a cat named Birmingham Jay that he used to work with. Obviously he's from Birmingham, but he was pretty big back then. I say he was probably the biggest one. Yeah, Birmingham Jay.
What format did you use to get your music out? I know kind of you grew up in the MySpace days.
Yeah, it was MySpace days. Yep, yeah. It was MySpace days. Really, that's how. Other than as far as the group that we had here, but yeah, MySpace. I would just upload beats weekly.
Was your own music your profile song?
No, I didn't even have. I remember that too. I didn't have a profile song. Man. I was like, man, nah, I can't put this over. It look kind of cheesy.
Put yourself on too much.
You're right.
You got to be your biggest fan, man.
True. But yeah, I would put like 4 or 5 beats up on MySpace weekly, and then the thing that really helped as far as growing my name here in town, and just locally was being on that Dice Sound Entertainment label.
Yeah. What about growing up? Like, I guess kind of were your friends kind of with it, or were they kind of like joning on you and shit? Like, what's he doing? Or they were with the shit?
What's that?
Were they like
supporting you?
Yeah, were they supporting you, or were they?
Which one? Who?
Like all your friends, your friend group. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think it was something that they really. How can I put it? It's not like I was playing sports, right? Yeah. So when you're in high school and you're playing sports, all your friends are there and they're cheering you on, they're hyping you up, But with music, obviously it's you're not in a school setting, you know what I mean? So it's not like a lot of people can be there cheering for you. So sometimes I would go to school, like if we put a CD out and I would go sell them for like $5. Sometimes they would buy them, sometimes they wouldn't. It just depends. Yeah. You're a high school kid. Sometimes you don't got $5 on you, man.
Yeah. What would you say to the people that are in, like myself? I'm a person that believes in, like, you need to go to a bigger city to get a bigger opportunity. Like, what would you say to the people? Because dude, you made it out of basically a really small city into the big world that we'll get to later. Yeah. But what's a tip you'd give to like the
man? I mean, I'm a living testimony, living proof. You can do it anywhere. Doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what what tools you have available. That's in front of you. All it takes is just the will and determination. And if you want it, I always tell my boy John Woo this, and he always he has a producer corner thing he does every month, and that's one of the things he always says that I mentioned to him. It's just about how bad you want it. If you want it bad enough, you're going to get it, because you're going to put in the work and you're going to fight for it. It doesn't matter what comes, no matter what obstacles come your way, you're always going to push forward and make sure, your end goal or your end, what you're going for is what what you're aiming for.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like let's say I was in the music industry, let's say a rapper or somebody that's from Bowling Green, I would feel like you would have to technically leave or kind of collaborate with other artists outside of the city, because if you're stuck in this one little city,
right.
I mean, you can only get your name out so far.
Yeah. So as far as like on an artist aspect, and even on the producer aspect, you know, or if it's, you know, just anything else other than music, you don't necessarily have to leave. You know, I think a lot of people get that they think of that as in you have to move and you can't come back. Like you just have to move, stay and grind it out. Like you don't really have to move. You can just, you know, there's different events that happen. You know, there's different things that you know,
that you can go to.
That you can go to, you know what I mean, and partake in, and just different conventions that you can, you know, go and sit in and listen. So just all you have to do, man, is just pay attention and just grind. You know, not grind, but just look for those things and network. Exactly. You know what I mean? And just, you know, go. If there's something that you can, you know, attend, like a Revolt, you know, or just anything like that, at A3C in Atlanta, just go. You know what I mean? And like you said, network. That's the biggest thing in this industry is just networking and building relationships. Because if you build relationships, that's when, you know, things can, you know, you never know what can happen from that. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Kind of switching up off the topic, I know personally here, we've talked about rappers like Russ.
Yeah.
But I was one thing I wanted to ask you was, like, since you're a producer and that, do you kind of respect those rappers more that kind of like produce, write, and do everything? Because he's kind of all in house.
Absolutely. A lot of people don't know about me, but I was a rapper when when we had the Dice Sound Entertainment label. So I get the part of, you know, being a rapper and a producer, so having to cater to both at the same time. So yeah, man, I tip my hat off to them, you know, the people who do it all, you know what I mean? But there's plenty of people out here, you don't have to do it all. You know what I mean? If you build a relationship with the right people that you can trust and people that you know that's going to deliver and it's going to deliver the stuff that you want, man, why not lean on?
Do you think that, like, that doing it all yourself kind of hurts the quality? Because, like, you're kind of worrying about too many things. I say if you have somebody like yourself that just produces, you're putting more time and effort, basically twice the effort into.
True. Yeah, I think it's a gift and a curse. You know, it goes both ways. You know, it can take a toll because obviously you're trying to do all things at once, and it's kind of hard to like just pick one thing to focus on when you're like, hey man, I got to do this too. Yeah. So, you know, it definitely can take a toll, you know, but on the same sense, you know, sometimes it might be better because you don't have to worry about paying out, you know what I mean? All the money, you know, pretty much goes in pocket. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you can
have to rely on somebody else.
You know, and you know, timing is all on you. You know what I mean? So you know, it's really on you if you can do it that way.
You don't have to positives and negatives from it.
Yeah.
So after going up to Louisville, you did a few songs with Bryson Tiller. Is that correct?
That didn't come until 2017.
Yeah. So this is like way.
Actually, no, I'm sorry. 2016 is when it all unfolded.
How'd that go down? I mean, how'd
you
contact with him?
Man, it was crazy. It happened through Instagram, through a DM, and it wasn't even to him. It was
his friends or
yeah, it was so I don't know if you on the Trap Soul album, I think it's on If I Were to Come Up, he referenced a line about Rich, and there's a lot of stories that floats around about how, you know, how Bryson got his break in the industry right now. But, you know, they all revert back to a guy named Rich, and obviously it was Rich the barber, the guy who used to cut his hair. He still does, but, you know, professional barber, been in the industry cutting hair for 25 plus years, you know, cut anybody's hair from Diddy, Fat Joe, NFL stars,
is this
NBA
guy
stars.
from Louisville?
No, he's from Miami.
Oh,
he's from Miami, yeah. So yeah, he referenced Rich on the song, and I just called and I was like, man, you know what? Let me go on Instagram and search, you know. And luckily, Instagram had just put in the friends where you could search. You know, if you go on the friends, you can actually type in the name, and you can search it or whatnot. So I go in there and I search it. I put in Rich, and lo and behold, Rich the barber pops up, and I'm like, yo, this can't be. This is crazy. This is crazy. So yeah, leading up to that, I made a few. Yeah, I made probably like 4 or 5 beats that I was like, man, you know what? These kind of catered to Bryson because this was after, you know, Trap Soul came out, obviously. Yeah. So yeah, I made a couple tracks. I was like, man, I feel like this would be, you know, something dope for him. So Yeah, I DM Rich. I just sent him a respectable DM. He said, hey bro, I don't even remember how it was, but I think it was just like, hey man, I just want to send you a couple tracks. If you like it, I would love for you to reach back out. If not, cool, I'll just keep it moving. Something like that, something to that degree. And so I think it was, when was that? I think it was Monday. Yeah, Monday morning. I go to work, and at this time I'm working at General Motors, at building Corvettes. Yeah. And so that Monday morning, it was about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. I DM'd him. I was like, man, I'm pretty sure he may not see it this early. You know what I mean? Especially in Miami. Man, I sent the DM, and man, as soon as I sent the prayer. Like, I just started praying while I'm on the assembly line building the Corvette. Here I am, plugging in wires. I'm like, God, please, just Lord, if you hear me right now, just let Rich hear this, or just let him see this DM, and something just stick out to him, and like, hey man, maybe I should open this. And like an hour later, he DM'd me back. He was like, hey, cool, send it to this DM or send it to this email. And I think I probably had just emailed him. I think I just emailed the beats to my phone, because I always do that whenever I make something new. I just email it to my phone so I can listen to it in the car. I don't have a Mac yet, you know what I mean? I just airdrop it. Yeah. But yeah, so I just emailed it to myself, and I emailed those same beats to him. That as soon as he sent me that DM, and then like an hour later after that, he reached back. He's like, "Hey man, these beats are crazy." I'm not saying he probably wasn't saying like that. It's just how he typed it, but he's like, that's how I was thinking in my head. Like, hey man, these beats are crazy. I'm with Bryson right now. Send me more, right? Send me more, like as soon as you can. So here I am at work, and I think at this time we were probably working 12-hour shifts. And I was like, man, there's no way I'm finna wait till I get home.
I'm out of here.
There's no way I'm about to wait till I get home to send these beats. So, man, I asked my team leader if I could get on his computer and like log into my email. So I downloaded like 15 beats that's on. It's probably still on his computer right now to this day. I downloaded like 15 beats, man, and I just shot them to him. And again, shot another prayer up like, man, change my life, Lord. Yeah.
Whatever you can. Rewinding back a little bit when you sent the DM, like what fueled you to send this DM? Like what was or did you do this kind of every day? Like you find a different person every day?
This was just a part of, it's just a part of me being hungry and wanting it. Like I said, it's about how bad you want it. So I would always send out DMs, especially when Instagram got popular. I would always send out DMs and message people. Just like, hey, pretty much with the same message, something. I wouldn't hit him with check my SoundCloud page out. Here's a link, what I mean? Download these. Like, nah, like, you got to personalize it. A lot of people mess up with that, they don't personalize a message, and people can see that, you know what I mean? Like, man, this dude probably just copied and pasted this, you know what I mean? And mass sent this out. But, like that was just a part of my process. I've always, was finding people, networking, and doing my homework. That's another part of it too. A lot of people, now I ain't gonna say a lot of people, but you really got to do your homework, as far as finding out who is who, what position they are, what role they play, because you never know if that person could change your life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main thing I tell, and even I tell Rich this, and when we go places, I'm like, hey man, I'll spot somebody, and he'd be like, man, how you know who that is? I'm like, I just do homework. I just find out, I like to find out who's who. And man, it's the worst feeling you could have is if you go somewhere and the person that could change your life is right next to you, and you don't even know it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, man, I forgot what the question was.
The question was, what was it? It was kind of like, was that an everyday thing?
Oh yeah.
Well, you kind of did answer it.
Yeah. So it was an everyday thing for me, man. Like I've always just been searching for people to send music to.
I think an interesting thing is that people don't notice, or whether it be an artist, whether you're trying to start a business, is that the people you're trying to reach, like the big famous people or whatever, who you're trying to reach, I think they're closer than people think.
Yeah.
A thing with us was that like. We did some research, kind of the same thing you did. We kind of see who's who, and we got in contact with Enes Kanter off the Celtics.
Yep.
We somehow found out how his agent was Bosnian.
Yeah.
So we DM'd him, like just saying like like kind of like you did,
right?
And it was kind of like, hey, like this and this. We started a podcast. This, you know, we love to help. If you could help. And he DM'd us back literally like 30 minutes later.
Exactly.
And bro, we freaked out. We were like, damn.
That's how it was, man. That's how it was, bro. I was on the Corvette line. I'm like, yo, and I was working beside my boy Marcus. And I was like, yo, Mark, nah, bro. He just EM'd me. Yo, he just sent me a message back, bro. I'm sitting there bugging out. And he's like, bro, it's all right, cool, man. It's cool. Calm down.
The emotions are different because like
it's different, bro.
When he told me, he's like, yeah, just send me your link, whatever. He said, send me your YouTube link. He's like, I'll get with Ennis in an hour. He's like, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And like, we only had like one podcast out, bro, and it wasn't even the top quality. You know, it was the first one. Audio was cutting in and out. And like, he got back, and Ennis was like, cool, let's do it. He's like, but we can only do 15 minutes.
Hey, it doesn't matter.
And then we did it, and then something else fell out where it was a conflict with another thing, which was like way different. So like, that's the reason we couldn't do it.
Gotcha.
But we're actually gonna meet up with his. With the agent.
We're gonna do a podcast with his agent.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope, man. Hats off for sure. Like that's, I mean, exactly. My point made. You know, it's all about just doing homework and finding out who's who.
Putting in the work.
Yeah, man. Just
gotta work.
Exactly. Just,
so did you go back and did you quit on the spot or you
nah.
Put in 2 weeks notice?
Nah. I wish it could have been like that. Nah, it wasn't like that. You know, for that situation. No, I was married. You know, had one already. Was and then had another one on the way. So you know, it's kind of like, and I'm at GM too. You know, I'm making good money. Yeah. It's, you know, I was like, man. And my plan was like, yo, if his music doesn't cut out for me, you know, then I'm stuck here. You know, I'm gonna retire here.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's not a bad place. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I definitely would have been, you know, content. You know, but I knew that wasn't the end of it. I knew that wasn't, you know,
for sure
my story. You know what I mean?
So I know after that, Bryson kind of rented out a house or whatever in Miami, was it? And is that the first time you met him or met the whole crew?
That was the first time I met him, bro. So yeah, like I sent the 15. So let me So I sent the another email with like, you know, 15 beats in it. And like an hour later, bro, I get he sent me back an email. He's like, hey, what's your phone number? And I'm like, yo. People don't usually ask for your phone number, you know, if it's not about something serious. You know, if they really want to talk business, that's when they're going to ask for that. So I was like, man, shoot, let me hear % this. I shot him my phone number, and, you know, 15 minutes later, a Miami number popped up. And I'm like, yo, I don't know anybody from Miami. So I answered it, and it's Rich. And he's like, hey, man, somebody want to talk to you. He passes the phone over to Bryson, and I'm like, yo. I'm saying, I want a phone like this, man, what's up, bro? Yeah. Man, that's crazy, bro. I appreciate it, man. Like, thank you for even listening, man. You know, I'm sitting there bugging. I'm building, you know, I'm plugging in parts on the Corvette. I'm on the assembly line working. Like, I'm clocked in working on the phone like this, man. I could have been fired, you know, or anything. But I was like, I'm going to take this chance. I don't care. Yeah. So, we got on the phone and we spoke, you know, briefly then. And then I was like, hey, man, can I call you when I get off? And, you know, we talked, you know, probably about 45 minutes or so when I got off work. And like that next week, I was in Miami. They flew me to Miami, man.
That's crazy.
At the beach house.
What was the feelings like?
Shoo.
On the plane over there. Like,
man, just
my man was
all type of emotions, bro. Like just feeling like all the blood, sweat, and tears, like all the hard times, all the late nights, all the early mornings, just everything. It just felt like it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? Like all this time I put in, like I'm finally, you know, I'm finally on the right path. I'm finally here. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like I'm like, man, I made it. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't even you know, and we ain't even cut a song yet. And I'm like, man, I made it. You know what I mean? But it was, you know, it was still a humbling type of thing. But yeah, like it was just. It felt crazy.
When you sent her the 15 beats, did you kind of have like a backup folder that was like your best beats? Or did you just send like the past 15 you made? Or you kind of catered to his style?
I kind of had like, I usually name my beats and, you know, I kind of remember, you know, what they sound like. So I kind of like had like an idea of the beats that I was picking for him. And it was, you know, most of it was stuff that catered to him. And then there was some that was just kind of like, you know, trying to show him just a little bit of diversity. And I wouldn't send him nothing like no pop joints or nothing crazy like that. But, you know, just sending him something that kind of showed him my diversity. And, man, he just took a likings to it and it was it.
So you arrive in Miami. What happens there? Like
I arrive in Miami and this is my first time, you know, was that my first time going to Florida? I can't remember, man, but it was my first time like just experiencing that.
Yeah.
I get down there, see all the palm trees. I'm in Miami. That was definitely my first time to Miami. And Rich picks me up, and I'm like, yo, I still can't believe it, bro. Like, I'm still in shock. You know what I'm saying? And, yeah, he took me over to meet Bryson that night. We chopped it up for a few minutes, and then, you know, he went his way. And then we went to the beach house, and, you know, I just chilled there for a minute. And then I just started making music. And I think he might have came over later that night, or he might have came over the next day. I can't remember which one. But, yeah. Still crazy. History. Yeah, the rest is history.
How many beats did you end up making for him while you're down there?
While I was down there, I probably made, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 or so. Or it might have been less than that, man. I was still so so crazy, man. It was crazy. I was down there for a weekend. And the other thing that blew my mind was it was really like a production camp. So it wasn't just me that was down there. You know, you had people who've been running the radio as far as just on the production side, like people like Vinyls, Alan Ritter, Ayo the producer, Boy Wonder, Timbaland came through there.
Timbaland's big.
Oh my, who else came through? Tunji was there. Who else was there? My boy Jay Lewis. Man, it was packed. It was packed. So I was intimidated, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, because here I am, you know, I'm the, you know what I mean? I'm the underdog.
Assembly line.
Man, what? I just came from the assembly line, bro. You know what I'm saying? Here these guys are, been making hits, you know what I mean? It's like, it was crazy, bro. You know, it was crazy. I played my music for them, and they was all, you know, just like, yo, this dude's crazy. Where'd y'all find him at?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
who'd you talk to the most down there besides Bryson? Like, who'd you connect with? Would you say?
I connected most with my boy Ayo. He's from Orlando.
Yeah.
Big producer. Big producer. We went a Grammy together on Cardi B's album.
That's sick, man. From Bowling Green.
Bowling Green, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, we grew a real tight relationship from there, man. He was kind of like really the one that like, what's up?
Yeah.
Come over here, man. I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you, man.
That's dope.
So how does that so basically was this event for the producers that are coming up, kind of, was this event kind of paid, or was it kind of just like, come down here, see what you can do? If not nothing, we send you back.
Pretty much for me, it was like that. It was kind of like a trial, was it?
Kind of like a trial.
Yeah. And, you know, they just, you know, like just my personality and then, you know, the who I am and, you know, what I represent. I wasn't down there trying to be somebody I'm not, trying to act all crazy. Yeah. I wasn't down there trying to spaz, you know what I mean? Just like, oh, you know what I mean? Just acting a fool, you know. I just held my composure. I wanted to be a fanboy because, you know, I knew all these other guys, you know, just from Instagram and just, like I said, doing homework. So I'm like, yo, I can't believe it. I'm right here by Vinyls and Boy Wonder, and here's Timbaland, and I, you know, just really bugging out. Yeah. Was
the self-made, you produced self-made, right?
Yeah.
Was it a soul? You just did it yourself, or?
Solo. I made that. Actually, we used to live around the corner right here on the Winter Circle, and bro, I made that beat actually for Future. I put in, and you know, it was a guy who I grew a relationship with in Atlanta, and he was like, "Yo, man, I need some stuff for Future," and I actually made that beat for Future, sitting in the bed when my wife was asleep.
Was this before you met Bryson?
Yeah, it was before I met Bryson.
So you were working with bigger artists even before?
No, I wasn't. Well, to a certain degree, that wasn't that big, but I was still working, you know, just building my name and building a relationship and, you know, just building my resume, you know, with a few producers, you know, not producers, but a few artists. It was, I say probably Skipper the Flipper. I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he runs with Migos. He used to run with Migos. He was with the camp. He was really like my first introduction as far as like an artist, like big, you know, people that people knew, you know, worldwide was him. That was really, he was like after let's say, after Skipper the Flipper, I somehow connected with Kurt Cobain's through Marcus Manchild. And it was just a weave type of thing. Yeah, it was just a networking thing, bro. Like I said, just networking and then, you know, they were like, hey man, we know this other cat, you know, who produced, you know, he should send you a pack, you know what I mean? And just kept going like that. You know, I was just trying to find a way to get in any way I could. Like all those beats I did, I didn't get a dime, not one penny.
Dang. That's you kept going.
I just kept going.
I read a Rolling Stones article that said Bryson said he was about to release True to Self, and then he got those beats from you, and he said he redid basically the whole album.
Yeah.
What did that mean to you? Because he was already,
bro, it's crazy.
He already blew up, and then to do that, and then like take your beats and
it's crazy, man. You know, it's just something I thank God about every day. Yeah. You know, that He just blessed me with a talent. You know what I mean? To be able to just come up with stuff, you know, that people might like, or you know, it just depends on, you know, what you might be looking for, or you know what you really like. I just thank Him every day for it. You know what I mean? Because if He wouldn't have blessed me with His talent, you know what I mean, I wouldn't have been doing. I wouldn't be doing this at all. You know what I'm saying?
The self-made record. We kind of did some research. Mm-hmm. It was you got like a.
Was it a Russian song or it's like
we've
seen it?
Yeah, for it.
Like we're sitting here for like 20 minutes talking about together. Yo, how does this even where do you find this stuff?
Man, I was YouTube digging.
Clearly,
YouTube.
I was complex. I was showed the video.
Yeah. I was YouTube digging, man. One of them late nights, just on YouTube, trying to find stuff to sample, and I don't even remember what channel I was on. I heard, like, as soon as I heard the first part of the song, I was like, yo, stop.
That's what we said.
Yeah,
I went to the first 4 or 5 seconds.
I went to YT MP3.
That's what I used to.
Hey, copied and paste, downloaded, and I made the beat the same night. I was like, nah, there's no way I'm finna let this one slide. Yeah.
Was that beat just stuck in a file for a while, or did you kind of send it
out? Nah, that beat was, I had probably 4 or 5 months went by that just sitting there.
That's crazy to know you got a gym.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know.
You know that's like that's crazy what you have in front of you. Yeah. You wouldn't even.
Man, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because a lot of people, they're like, "Hey, man, we need a hit," and it's like you really don't know what's a hit until it's out. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't really go in there and be like, "All right, boom, no. All right, this is a hit. Send it out." You know what I mean? Like no, it's really just.
It's a process.
It's a process, man. Like it's just you send it out and see what happens. Man, there's stuff that I made maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and people are still, gravitating to it.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Does it ever amaze you, like you do a beat and then some artist records over it, and you're like, damn, it sounds better than like what I actually intended it to be? Because I know like Going Bad, the Drake song, like I listened to the first time and I'm like, bro, this is like it ain't all that. Fuck with it. And then like now like straight bumping.
It's one of those growing. It's one of those you got to grow on you. And I think a lot of that happens with Bryson's album, with True to Self. A lot of people were expecting him to drop another trap soul, a trap soul 2, Heartbreak. My girl took me through this and she took me through that, and it's like, man, you really gotta, if you're a true fan of an artist, you gotta give your artist room to develop and room to grow. You can't really just put him in a box and think like, all right, every single time he drops a project, I know we're gonna get this because that's what we, that's what we love, that's what we like. So I think a lot of that really, was part of that on True to Self. I feel like, the album was crazy, and not just because I was on it, you know what I'm saying, but I just feel like, this project was super crazy. My bad. What was the question again? I think I got it right off.
The question was like, when you record, when you produce a beat.
Oh yeah. With Bryson, like every time I send him something, like he's not the type that sends music back to people. He's really like, what's the word I'm looking for?
He's really quiet as a dude. I feel
he's himself.
Does he kind of record over it and then you just hear it when it releases?
No. Like usually, like he'll play it for me if I'm around him. When I'm in Miami or in LA and we're together, he'll play me like all the stuff that he's been recording and let me check it out. And man, I'm always blown away. Like dude's like his talent is ridiculous, like super crazy. And it's crazy because a lot of people. Like really, just a lot of people won't get to hear it because it's like he's so attached to it. You know what I mean? Like he really holds on to it. It's like, bro, release it, like put it out, man. Like just drop it. It don't even matter if it's on the album. Like put it out on SoundCloud. But I understand, like there's a process to it, and there's a label involved, so you can't really just drop music like that But I'm like, bro, this music is great. Like, please drop it. Like even a snippet. You know what I'm saying?
Is that how music kind of gets leaked and stuff? I guess they send it back to a producer, and the producer sends it to his friends, check
all
this
the
shit
time,
out.
all the time. That's really why he doesn't send stuff out.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, because that's one thing he doesn't want to be. He don't want his music leaked out like that, and I agree. And I totally back that 100%. Because man, yeah, like bro, every week you get on YouTube, there's a Party Next Door song.
It is,
you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, you got to be real selective. You know what I mean? If you can't send it out, just don't send it out. You know what I mean? Just hold on to it.
It builds the anticipation too.
Exactly.
It makes it so much better when it drops.
For sure.
People actually like enjoy it.
Yep.
I think the more stuff you drop, the quality drops
Yeah.
too. Cause like, let's say like X who died.
Yep.
Bro, they started when he died. I guess his family or whatever. They started just releasing his music.
Yeah.
And like, they're releasing unfinished songs. Like,
Right.
songs,
Yeah.
And like that's kind of the
It's
opposite
pointless,
of what
man.
he
It's pointless. It's pointless. It defeats the purpose. You
It's
know what
not.
I'm
It's not. It's in a way. It's art, and it's not done yet. You don't release art until it's completely
That's right.
finished.
It's like going to a painter's house and taking his paintings there.
Yeah.
He's halfway done. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, bro, like let him finish the art. Let him finish the art. Let him finish it.
Moving back to your job at GM.
Yeah.
What's the day you kind of said, all right, like you came back home and you were like, I'm done with it. This is a full time thing. This is something music is all I'm doing.
It's kind of crazy because so I want to say, what was that? September 2016? No, it was October 2016 is when all this, kind of unfolded for me. And from there, I was, I think, so I flew out to Miami that time. And then after that, it was kind of like, they were hitting me up like, yo, can you come out? And I'm not finna be like, no, I can't come out.
I ain't got no more vacation.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I'm at a paid vacation.
I gotta get PTO.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I just like, I kind of got in trouble at work, you know what I mean? And they put me on like administrative leave a couple times. You know what I mean? I was like, yes. Because at that time, at that time, I'm like, yo, I'm cool. I don't have to worry about, calling in and
job,
exactly. So yeah, I want to say May. Yeah, was it May? No. It was April. Yeah, because
The album dropped in May.
The album dropped in May. Yeah, it was April. That was the last time I got put on administrative leave. Was at the end of March around my son's birthday. And I was supposed to go back, I think it was like April 15th or something like that. And by this time we had already had the ball rolling. Yeah. And, the album was pretty much done. It was just waiting to see. Because, I don't know if you guys remember, the actual release date was supposed to be June 23rd. And I was just like, yo, the album's coming. I'm on it. I'm done. So yeah, on April 15th, I was supposed to return back to work, and I just called and I was like, "Hey man, I won't be back."
Not even 2 weeks.
Not even 2 weeks. I'm like, I'm already. Hey, I haven't been here. Yeah, I haven't been here. I think that time I was on administrative leave for like 3 weeks. So I'm like, hey, y'all don't miss me that bad.
Y'all be all right.
Kind of transitioning into like, you won a Grammy. Mm-hmm. So like, what was the other artist you work with? Because I know you work with Cardi B. Was that kind of like did you work with her through a middleman or was it straight direct? You know what I mean?
Nah, it was my boy Party Fontaine, who's on the same management company as I am, and Bryson, and the other cat Ryan Trey and a few other people. He's the one that really writes pretty much majority of the stuff for Cardi B, and luckily, he's on the same team as I am.
Yeah, that's dope.
And which is so crazy, man, because I ran into Partisan in Atlanta at A3C, like I think around, when was it? Maybe 2014, or yeah, I think it was around that time. And we just had like a quick conversation because I knew a guy who was from Newburgh that was going to school here in Western. He played football, and he was like, yo, you got to check out this cat named Partisan from back where I'm from. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I checked him out. I started following, and I emailed him, reached out to him. And then, like I said, we met one time. Well, we didn't meet, but I seen him, and then I went over. It's like, yo, what's up, bro? It's me, Ness. He's like, all right, cool. What's up, bro? We exchanged numbers and all that. And yeah, it was so crazy because, we on it. And then, you turn out and he's on the same team as you. Yeah. It was just crazy how things work. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was really through him. I had the idea of flipping, that old Project Pat song, and I think I just dropped the drums on it, and then I sent it to AO, and I didn't even know anything about it, man. It probably was under the radar for maybe like a year that we just had the beat, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't even know, I didn't even know they sent it to, the party for him to write to it. And like here, I think I was, where was I? I think we was about to go to San Diego for a family vacation. And Rich calls me. He's like, hey, man, that beat you did, with Ayo, man, Cardi wrote a smash to it. I'm like, what?
So you never actually interact like
met her or anything?
No, I've never met her. Never met Drake. I met Drake's father, but never met him. But yeah, never met Cardi. It was just through party.
What did you work with Drake on?
What's that?
What song did you work with Drake on?
On the March 14th, on Scorpion album.
Yeah. I actually met Drake. I didn't meet him. I was at a nightclub and he was literally like where you're sitting.
Yeah,
bro. And that dude's crazy. That's all I gotta say. I'm not gonna say anything else, but that dude's crazy. But good crazy.
He probably gets it from his dad. His dad's crazy too.
Bro. They brought in like I'm talking about. They had like ones in like
duffel
plastic
bags.
Man. It's just rolling in like it's crazy. But how did it feel to win a Grammy, man? Because that's something.
That's kind of
99% of people don't ever.
That's
a dream.
That's the dream.
Bro.
That's what you work for.
It's surreal, man. It's crazy, like super, super crazy. Like again, man, all I can do is just divert it back to God. Yeah. If He wouldn't have gave me the talent I've got, I would never even have thought. And it's always been a passion. Like, man, I want to win a Grammy. Like I've never been one of those. There's some producer that's like, I just want to do it. I don't really care about winning a Grammy. It's like, what? It's like going to the NBA and saying, hey, man, I don't care. I don't want to win the finals. Like, man, you crazy. Yeah, like that's why you want to play. You want that ring. You want that experience.
The reward.
Exactly, man. So yeah, like it's always been something, that I wanted to do. And it's crazy that I accomplished it so fast, so quick. It feels like that, but man, it's been a lifetime.
Since you were what, 12, 13?
Yeah, man, it's been a lifetime trying to achieve, you know what I mean? Just trying to get to that. But yes, it's man, I feel like I haven't even started yet. I feel like this is it's still like the beginning, you know what I mean? Still so much more to accomplish, so much more to do, so much more to, create, man, just to go crazy with.
How'd you meet Drake's dad?
Man, it was they had any what was it? I think we was at G-Eazy's house. Yeah, we was at G-Eazy's house.
You met him too?
Yeah, it was a lot of people over. It was a crazy little event they had over there. And yeah, Drake's dad was there. Man, super crazy.
I heard that man's like laid back, like
bro. He's really like.
OG.
He's like the cool uncle. Like your dad's like, man, don't be like him, man.
Yeah, we had a friend meet him like in Mexico or something like that. I think. Yeah. Weird.
He's really like the cool uncle. That everybody's like, hey, what's up, Unc? He's like, what I mean? Your dad's like, boy.
Get away from him.
Yeah, don't. Ain't nothing cool about your uncle over there. Like, nah, man, he's actually pretty cool. Yeah, he's cool, man. Real laid back, real humble. I took a picture with him. He didn't try to act like he was all
that.
Uppity, like, no, don't come over and touch me. He leaned on me and all. Like, he's real cool guy, man.
Dope. Do you feel like that's an interaction you go with most artists? Like they're kind of more laid back, or you think someone will kind of a little bit more on the high horse?
It just depends on who it is. Yeah, it depends on who it is. Some of them are, some of them aren't. And then on top of that, it just depends on. I think it really, kind of depends on the people that you have in your circle too. Luckily, I'm around, people that, a lot of people respect in the industry, and they know, they're really about business, and they know that they're not going to waste their time, and they already know, hey, we know what you guys can produce, so we trust you, yeah. So I haven't had any experience of, someone, trying to step on me or trying to belittle me and make me feel like I'm, less than they are. Yeah.
So you say you meet all these artists and stuff. Have you ever been starstruck by one, or is it always like, okay, cool, I'm gonna play it cool, but like I actually be like,
I'm sure the Miami house you were starstruck.
I was definitely starstruck then for sure. But I held my composure pretty good.
Yeah,
I think I did. You know what I mean?
One that sticks out in particular.
Nah.
G-Eazy's pretty
I'm sure you
big, but,
you get used to it. Like
Yeah.
after a while.
Yeah, and then on top of that, I always tell myself like, man, just don't fanboy out. You know what I mean?
That
Just
too.
hold your composure.
Act
Just
like
be
you
cool.
belong here.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who would be in that position that would be like, hey,
Oh,
can you
Snap-
please take a
Snapchat,
picture
yeah,
with me?
this, that.
Or yeah, you know what I mean? Just like all this the whole time. It's like, bro, like you can ask anybody that's around the whole camp. Like you never see me out with my phone just videotaping everything.
It fucks with the vibe too.
Exactly,
Yeah.
man. Like you really like
Yeah,
there'll be a time for that, you know. And if it's you know if it's more, I don't know, more genuine,
Yeah.
it'll happen. You know what I mean? Like there'll be people around who usually they have shooters, as far as like people who take pictures
Yeah.
or shoot videos. That's around. That's
it's
just
like at the end of the
documented.
day, they're regular people. That's
Yeah,
what they want to
man.
be seen as too. It's
Exactly,
like, don't put
exactly.
me up here. Like I'm just like you.
Yeah.
Exactly. But hey, it's just a part of the lifestyle.
Yeah, for sure.
When you that famous,
Yeah, it comes with it.
it comes with it,
About
man.
to be
You
up
can-
here. Hey.
Back to
I feel good. I can still go to Kroger's and shop, and people. I'll be in there with Adidas flip flops on. And,
Have you ever had a situation where somebody actually noticed you? Because I mean, you got the following.
nah, especially not here though. A lot of people that follow me are not. A lot of people from around here.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
kinda
there's-
more of the music industry.
Yeah, pretty much. But nah, bro. I can't really
Not
think of a
yet.
time where someone's like, "Hey, that's Ness."
I'm sure
like,
people
nah.
DM you though, because like I know people people that are out there trying to make music. They look at Bryson Tiller, see who
Yeah.
he follows, Jack
Yeah.
Harlow, all this.
Yeah.
And then
Absolutely.
they DM
Yeah.
you like, hey man, can you get this to him?
Man, when Bryson first dropped True to Self, I probably had like almost 200 DMs.
For real?
Dang.
did you go through?
No. No, sir.
Well,
Like I would scroll through, you know what I mean? But I didn't really just take the time to read all of them. Cause I knew, it was something happens like that. And then on top of that, around that time he was shouting me out a little bit on Instagram. So people, a lot of those, producers and artists, they seen that, you know what I mean? And they was like, oh, let me shoot my DM. Let me shoot my shot now.
Yeah.
so you were the connect now.
Right.
basically.
That's dope, man. Bringing it full circle, I think do you kind of support the BG community? Because I know you you produce for Nico Beach and this and that.
Yeah.
You kind of feel obligated to kind of help out the community and.
I definitely want to, and I do, to a certain degree. Like there's a few people that I've been working with, like Benny Euro. We
Oh,
did.
really? You've been working with him?
Yeah. I've been working with
Okay.
Benny. Yeah. He's got a song with
What's his name?
Who?
We saw it the other day,
John
bro.
Pablo,
Pablo,
yeah.
Podcast today too.
Yeah.
Adam.
That record me and Black Market produced.
Oh, shit.
So we got a few other joints that we was working on. But yeah, like man, I'm all about it, bro. Just and that's one thing I wanted to do too. And that's something I've always thought about and talked about a little bit, was building a studio here in town. Like just building like something crazy, like a real professional type studio, and just having something to where kids who don't want to focus on sports or have a musical drive that they want to really focus on, and just have like an after school program for kids to come in and like learn producing, learn songwriting, learn how to engineer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just something like that. And then of course just something for the artists that's around here that's serious about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not just doing it for fun or doing it because they see a lot of people on the internet doing it. It's
Clout,
like
yeah.
and want to do it for the cloud. Exactly. So that's something I thought about, and that's something I haven't really put it on, into action yet, but that's something I kind of do want to do for the city for sure.
That's dope. Back to producing.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of artists have like songs kind of driven more towards their labels and stuff, making hits, stuff like that, and then they have their own separate music. It's more the creative side,
Right.
like where they drop mixtapes. Do you feel like you have two separate sides to that? Like you have your
As far as producing,
yeah.
nah, I just
Everything makes you is not for the.
that's just
Not for the hits.
that's it.
I've heard some interviews about I forgot the producers, but I be watching a lot around that music industry because I'm really into that. But I heard a lot of producers that say that like drugs or weed or different stuff helps them in that drive. Is that like
Brings that creativity out.
I used to think that too, man. At a young age, I was introduced to that, just far as smoking weed, drinking,
for sure.
and that's something that I was doing every day. You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, oh man, this is just it's opening a different part of my brain, where I'm able to function and think of something totally different. But it's like, bro, you don't need it, man. You don't need it to be creative and to really think outside the box. You know what I mean? It's just something that people want to, think that they need, you know what I'm saying, to be creative. And it's like, if you feel like you need that to be creative, then maybe you should think about, picking a different path, picking a different career choice.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because you shouldn't need anything to make you feel like you want to be creative or be, passionate about something that that really has a drive in you. You know what I mean? Like you don't need anything extra. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it should just be.
Let it come naturally. Yep.
I wake up, boom. I feel like it. Like, let me do it. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't need nothing extra to give you a boost. If you need something, get a Red Bull.
Keep you up.
Keep you up a little bit longer.
Red Bull gives me
what's
wings.
the process of producing a beat? Because I don't think anybody really knows besides like
I've heard
producers.
some people I heard producers they usually sit down with an artist and they kind of hear how he's, because X, I'm an X fan as in like the artist. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And he the way he produced was like he kind of like, I saw videos where he's with his producer and he's kind of humming the like what he's going to do.
Melody,
and the
what he
producer's
wants.
kind of working around it.
It's crazy, man. He actually reached out. He wanted me to come work with him before. Yeah.
Dang, that's
before all that happened, man.
Dope.
And I was skeptical about it, because I seen, just the
image, the media.
the image of how he was, and just
He got some better for that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I was just like, man, I don't know if I want to attach my name, to something like that. But it's like, dang, that's crazy. I should at least went, you know what I mean?
I think
musically he was really talented.
Man, he
Like,
was
an
really
artist, bro.
He
could
was.
produce like rock, rap, singing,
sure.
R&B, everything.
The
Like
dopest thing about him is when he what song is it? Sad
was off of BMW.
Tone.
The tone.
That's crazy.
The tone, yeah.
Crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's different ways into it. Sometimes you might be with an artist that's like that, that's really in tune musically, and it's like, hey, I'm looking for this type of sound today, or they might hum something that, like, you can build something off of it. And then sometimes it might be where it's just you by yourself, and you just cooking up stuff on the fly, or somebody might reach out to you like, hey, we need this type of beats for this artist.
Yeah. Or
it could be a situation where it's you with another producer, and you guys are collabing and just coming up with stuff like that. So yeah, it's different. It's different.
I got you.
Different ways into it. Sometimes the artist might be like, do you?
Yeah.
Come up with whatever you want to come up. Let's just vibe. You know what I mean? And those, I think those sessions, I like those maybe the most, because it's just you building like a relationship and building rapport. And just vibing out and kind of getting the feel of what they might like and what they might not like. Obviously, doing it the other way too, where the artist has a direction, that's good too. But it's something about, what I mean, just vibing out and just, coming up with stuff on the fly. It's really dope.
Yeah. And, wrapping up the convo, I think you're a really talented dude, man.
Nah, I appreciate it.
Definitely interesting dude. Humble. And I think you got a long way to go. And many more Grammys, hopefully.
Yes, sir.
The way that studio too.
Yeah. I'm definitely.
That would be dope.
Definitely got that. Wrote down. As something that I want to accomplish. So
that'd be dope.
We're looking out for it for sure.
And the way we're gonna end this is, if you watched our podcast, Timeless 10, which is just the same 10 questions for every guest, just quick answer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll smash a clock and put your autograph and quote on it,
cool.
bro.
And I got you. And again, man, I appreciate you guys for having me.
I appreciate you, man.
And it was a truly honor. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
I respect
We'll
the grind.
Part
what I
two.
mean? Yeah, nah, for
For
sure.
sure.
Nah,
Yeah.
definitely. Hopefully by that time, man, I'm blessed with a couple more Grammys. You know,
Something else to talk about.
We bigger too as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, man. I'll go ahead and start. First question: If you had work but didn't need the money, what would you choose to do? Kind of easy answer, I think. But
If I say it one more time,
if you had to work but didn't need money, what would you choose to do?
if I had to work with any money, man,
That's what he's doing now.
yeah,
Yeah,
music.
that's an easy answer.
I was doing that. Before I got paid anything.
You did do that. Yeah.
You're one of the people that actually can say you do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Crazy.
All right. If you could disinvent one thing, what would it be?
Disinvent one
Yeah.
thing.
Disinvent.
Music.
I don't know.
You got to ask for that one.
I don't really have an answer for that
This
one.
one's next.
Cell phones, internet.
Nah, because you need it. You
need all
need it.
that,
It's a part of it's a part of growth. Yeah, we need it. I don't know.
We'll move past that one.
Next.
That's all right. All right. If you could meet one person dead or alive, who would it be?
If I could leave,
Meet one person.
Oh, me.
Dead or yeah, dead or
meet one
alive.
person dead or alive. Michael Jackson,
I don't know why that was in my head. Like,
I think it's Michael.
yeah.
the king of pop.
Yeah.
If you had all the money in the world, what would be the first thing you buy? Is
All the money in the world, but the first thing I buy.
Uh,
Yeah.
All the money in the world. I don't know, bro.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Well, man, I would buy food. You know, now just for all the starving people,
Yeah.
all the third world
that.
countries. You know what I'm saying? People who don't
I love
have
it.
have food, man. Buy food and housing for them. You know what I'm saying?
Fix the real world problems. I like that. Not selfish at all.
Nah, I gotta give it away, man. Gotta give it away. I'm not going. And when you die, it don't go with you.
Absolutely. If you had one piece of advice for the younger generation, what would it be?
Put the phone down and communicate.
I respect it.
Put the phone down and communicate. You know what I'm saying? Just look people in the face and talk to them. You
Yeah.
know, it's crazy.
That's something we're losing
Right,
now,
yeah.
too.
A lot, man. It's crazy because I don't know if you guys seen their commercial with the guy who's on the phone, and they, you know, it's him walking through the city, and like there's a group of people running, and they all just split around him while he's walking with the phone. And then there was another one where the car was backing up, and the car stopped because it was, you know, technology
Yeah.
grew, and it stopped because the sensor, you know, called him,
Yeah.
and he was still just walking on the phone.
That's
So
great.
put the
Yeah.
phone down, man.
Interact with people for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Who inspired you the most growing up?
Who inspired me the most growing up? Man, my father, for sure. Do I have you want me to give answers or just reasons why?
No, just
I can,
one
I
or
mean-
two reasons why. Yeah.
You can.
Okay.
if you want.
Nah, yeah, my father. You know, just seeing the drive in him, and you know, just the will in him to keep going and provide for, you know, for a family. You know what I mean? That's a big family. You know, it was 5 of us. You know what I mean? So, well, I guess you can say 6. You know, counting, you know, my mother, but 5 siblings. Man, yeah, just staying at it, staying working. Like that's really my drive came from him.
Who's your favorite artist right now?
Favorite artist right now, man. I mean, I gotta go with my bro Bryson. You know what I'm saying? Favorite. You know what I mean? He's my favorite artist.
What do you think the most common reason people give up is?
Instant success. They feel like, you know what I'm saying? They feel like as soon as they do something, they should automatically be catapulted to the top. You know what I'm saying? So they give up, you know, before
But they actually.
before things even, you know, turn up for them. Stick with it. Fight for it.
All right. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Power.
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, man. One superpower, what would it be?
It's crazy the diversity in the answer people
Yeah.
give.
I
Yeah.
don't think anybody's doubled up on the answer yet.
Yeah.
Nobody's doubled on the answer?
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. This a superpower? I really don't know.
What about when you were a kid growing up? Did you have one that they, some you wish you could
To
do?
fly or something.
Yeah. Fly, teleport.
Man,
Strength.
I wasn't even thinking about that when I was a kid, bro.
Working about day by music.
I wasn't even thinking. I was just thinking about playing with my cousins, you know, playing basketball, football, riding bikes. You know,
Yeah.
Kid
we
shit.
watch. Yeah, you know, we watch cartoons, but it wasn't. You know,
What's one thing you can't live without, like a material item?
Like if you're traveling somewhere, what's the first thing you put in your suitcase? Other than like the normal toothpaste and all that.
Yeah.
Like
The-
something materialistic.
oh man, my laptop got to be with me. You know what I mean? Because I never know when I might feel inspired to create something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely got to have that with me.
Sure.
All right, man, that's it for Thomas Talk. Thomas 10.
And then
Hey.
Let me get
just
that.
break it on camera and then
Okay.
we'll
What's the
clean it
quote?
up after.
Yeah. What quote
What's
you
the
got
quote?
for the people?
You got any quote you want to?
quote for the
you
people?
go right.
Yeah.
Quote,
You're gonna write it on the clock. Your
Man.
favorite quote or something you live by.
Yeah, how bad do you want it?
How bad do you
I
want?
like it. I like it.
Let's,
You got the safety
you
glasses.
want the glasses?
Oh, here, I
Oh, you got glasses.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to hit it hard. You just kind of.
just break
Just tap it.
Yeah, and then we'll clean it up and then write everything
I don't
out.
want nobody getting no glass in the hands.
Yeah. Bro, we have people break it with their hands.
That's what I was gonna say. Do I need to punch
Danny.
it?
Nah, nah, nah.
All right, here we go.
Oh shit!
It's a strong clock. You better hit it.
It's a strong clock. You better hit it. A little bit harder.
What is this?
There we go.
I didn't put enough wrist in it.
That's all good. Hold on. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and comment.